Oh heck, let's try a little cooking video. This is chicken, obviously, and they're thighs. Thighs have more flavor and are moist. If you use breast, it's a little dry and stringy. So I am making a soup. It's my favorite in the whole world, called Tom Ka Gai. I call it Gai Tom Ka. Gai means chicken, Tom Ka just means hot soup. What coconut? I don't know what it means. Don't even care. I know that I like to eat it. So I'm going to chop this chicken. It's about 10 ounces, 2 thighs. A little fat won't hurt you because there's no skin and not much fat. So what I'm going to do is take this and boil it, more or less. Simmer it, that's a better word. Simmer it in, you can use water, but I'm going to use chicken stock. So I'm going to bring the chicken stock up to a simmer. Over here, gosh, I wish I was aware to clip this on. Not like you've never seen chicken stock go into an old pan. With one hand, though, you may not get to see it. Looky there. Now, this is low sodium chicken broth. I don't do much on measurements, I'm sorry. It's a box. It's 2 pounds, 32 ounces. So I'm going to bring that up to temp. I'm going to throw my chicken in, and I'm going to simmer it for 20 minutes. I'm going to cook some rice while the soup heats up, and that is something that lots of people find difficult and want to use a rice cooker, but I'm cheap and I don't have that much room, so I'm going to cook 2 cups of rice, 2 cups of uncooked rice. So that takes about 2 3/4 cups of water. I'm going to add some salt. Kosher salt is my favorite. Nice big chunks give good flavor. And I'm going to add my rice. I usually rinse it, but I don't feel like it. So that is 2 full cups of rice. We will wait for that to simmer. And excuse my pan. I bought this pan when I was 14, a whole set. And I'm 65 now, so there you go. And this was going to be my move out of home stuff. And last year, a neighbor called with an emergency, and I was steaming or cooking sauerkraut, and I left. Luckily, it was on medium high. I came back an hour later, and my house smelled disgusting, and the pan was blackened. Cats are hiding under beds, and the smoke detector's going off, but I just couldn't throw it away, so I scrubbed it. The rest is just stain. It is not anything that causes flavors. So I'm going to put the lid on that for a second. You can come over here and look at my, this is starting to simmer. I will put my chicken in. Now I don't want to boil this. I want to bring it almost to a boil and then let it simmer. I'm going to let this simmer slowly for about 20 minutes. Unfortunately, my camera doesn't like my camera mount, which is a water spigot above the stove, but it keeps falling off. I'm not a big fan of GoPro, and it's not getting any better, folks. Every time I touch it, it does something I don't want it to do. So this is getting a little bubbly. I don't want it to boil over, so I want to keep an eye on it. And I have kind of a powerful stove, a little dirty powerful stove. So what I do is I have to use one of these, which is a heat shield. And what that does is it allows me to turn the stove down. Simmer on this stove is hotter than low was on my previous stove, so just not quite able to get this to simmer low enough yet. Okay, the rice is starting to bubble nicely. I have it on as low as I can go, and I will put the timer on for exactly 15 minutes. I won't open the pot. I won't do anything. I'll just wait for it to be done. And this is simmering nicely. Now I'm going to come over to the island and prep some of the other things. If you're not familiar, this is lemongrass. And you don't use the top. And you don't use the bottom. And you don't want to leave the outer skins on. A couple of them off because they're dirty. And that, where's the opening? There it is. And that just makes it clean. That's just, you could save that for stock, I suppose, but oops, still a little more. And you go like this. Kind of crush the and chop it up into big chunks. And then the ginger, this is not really ginger, this is called galangal. It's, I don't know how to describe it. It's got a piney scent. And you don't eat it. Oh, you just use it for seasoning. The same with lemongrass. It's not something you eat. You rinse this off. So this, you just cut into things like this. I'm going to use however many I think I need. I can't describe that flavor other than pine, not pine sol, but pine trees when you walk by and brush against them. I think that looks like plenty. I bought extra because I'm going to slice it and freeze it. Okay, there's that. I have my palm sugar at the ready. And we'll need some lime juice. I don't know how many I'll need. Coconut milk. I promise it's important to get all the ingredients I'm talking about. You can't substitute anything for the galangal. Also going to need some kaffir lime leaves. These are very interesting, wonderful scented. So that's got an interesting leaf on it. We'll probably need, I don't know, that many. And if I remember, you're supposed to tear them just before you put them in the soup. Again, you don't eat them, it's just flavor. I'm sorry my face isn't in the camera very much, but I don't have a film person with me. Cameraman. I don't have a cameraman with me, so it makes it kind of difficult. Now, I like spice. These are Thai red chilies. They're a little bit So you can just omit these if you don't want any spice. But I like a lot of spice, so I'm going to leave the seeds, the skins, everything in. That 2 peppers right there will be enough to kill a normal person. Let's see now. I'll need some fish sauce. Good brand, squid. Where's the camera? Oh no, now I've woken up the beast. This girl's 20 years old. She's still going pretty strong. We have to do subcutaneous fluids twice a day. But she's just had a 3-hour nap and she's wanting food in her dish. She doesn't meow or make much noise unless you step on her accidentally. But she'll keep looking at her dish and telling me that way that, fill it up please. There's the look, there's the flirt, and there's the dish look. So I have to keep that food handy. Looky here. And if I give her too much at one time, she throws up. So it's hell being old and having geriatric cats too. Of course the other guy thinks, wait a minute, it's my turn too? No, there might be a rabbit outside. So he's content for the minute. Okay, the rice timer went off. And look at that, perfect rice. I'll give it a little fluff. It's nice and dry, crumbly. And I'll just set it on the back burner there. Lid back on and let it sit. So now I'm going to add my aromatics, I guess I can call them. The peppers, the galangal, the kaffir lime leaves, which I'm about to scrunch if I can find a place for the board. These just tear, not a lot, just enough to push out that wonderful flavor. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of salt. My coconut milk. I add some, you can use regular sugar. This is called palm sugar, about a teaspoon worth. It's going to take about a tablespoon. Since I'm pouring it right out of the container, I like it very much. It is salty though. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon and a half to start. And I will check it for flavoring later, seasoning. And I'll give that a stir. I'm going to bring that to simmer. So that has simmered a few minutes. Looks beautiful. Now normally that would be done. But today, yesterday anyway, when I was at the Asian market, look at those beautiful mushrooms. I can't remember the name. They're like bushimi or something like that. I'm going to cut off the bottom. Don't cringe if you, I don't know anything about these. So anybody that's Asian saying, don't waste the goodness, I apologize. And look at those wonderful mushrooms. That will set for a minute or so, and it's ready to serve. So after I plate it up, I'll show you what it looks like if I can hold off eating in the meantime. So everyone has their way of serving this soup. Personally, I like rice with it. This is my first time, honestly, with mushrooms, but I have a feeling it's going to be spectacular. And I put in a couple of tablespoons of lemon juice to get that wonderful acid. And I am a huge fan of cilantro, and it may not be restaurant pretty, but it is stomach pretty.